Hi, my name is Heather Porter. I'm a program manager for SCFD, and I'd like to welcome you to the 2021 Fluxx introductory tutorial for SCFD funded organizations. First, we begin at our website, which is www.scfd.org. This is our homepage. We would encourage you to always go to your tier page because we keep it updated with the latest and greatest information. Tier pages are located under the eyebrow navigation at the top of your screen under grant making. So today we will begin with already funded, and we'll actually use tier 3 as the example for this Fluxx tutorial. So we'll click on the tier 3 page here. The tier 3 page houses a lot of information. We've created it so that all organizations have access to as much information as possible, including grant deadlines, information on county cultural councils, prior year distribution amounts, workshops and support. The workshop that you're currently watching is the online tutorial for navigating Fluxx. The grant application itself, including application directions, county guidelines summary matrix, activities and attendance template, the things we don't fund, and most importantly, portal access. Fluxx is our new grants management portal. You can access it from that link, or after scrolling to the bottom of the page, access it from here as well. Your final grant report and your grant application are both now housed under the Fluxx umbrella. So let's go to the portal. This is the landing page for Fluxx. The website for Fluxx Direct is scfd.fluxx.io. If you're a currently funded organization, all currently funded organizations already have a profile in Fluxx. SCFD staff have pre-populated Fluxx with former grant information for 2019 and 2020 so that you can access your prior grants and submit final grant reports. If you do not know your username and password, please contact SCFD. If you do know your username and password, please log in using your username and password here. Your username is almost always your email address, and the password is the password you set up. Again, if you're having trouble, please contact a staff member at SCFD. If you are new to SCFD, to be considered for funding, that is to apply for SCFD eligibility, the first step is to create a profile for your organization. Again, this is just for new eligibility applicants. Every currently funded organization already has a profile set up in Fluxx. Once you have your login information, you can log in. I'll be using an SCFD training organization login. So I enter my email, which is scfd@scfd.org. I'll enter my password and I'll sign in. Please note that if you need to reset your password, please click the link here. Welcome to Fluxx. This is the SCFD Grant Portal. For first-time users, you may see a cookies statement at the bottom of the page here. Please accept the cookies so then you can see this gear symbol open up. This gear symbol allows you to change your password and log out of the grant portal. Today, we'll begin from the top. The first thing I'm going to do is use these little carrots, they're little triangular arrows, to actually close every one of the tabs on the left. Please note that you can use these arrow tabs or carrots also inside of your final grant report and your grant applications. So we're just going to go through this step by step. Welcome to the SCFD Grant Portal. From this portal, you can apply for SCFD eligibility. More on that in another tutorial. Update your organization's profile, submit a grant application for funding. Grant applications, and it's really important to understand this in Fluxx, any request for funding, that is any grant application request, actually will be located under the Requests tab. We'll get to that later. You can also make a modification or amendment to a grant. That's for Tier 3 projects only and is not relevant for 2021. For 2021, we're requesting that all funded organizations complete the status updates, which we'll be requesting about every 4 months or so. From the portal, you can track the status of your pending grant application, submit final grant reports, and monitor your grant awards and your payments. If you need additional help, SCFD staff have created portal guides for your reference. The Fluxx Grant Portal Guide is the one we'll be going through today, which will help you to understand and maybe just remind you of what the various tabs are and where to access your grant application and your final grant report from. You can always, I'll click on it now just so you can have a look at it. This is the Grant Portal Guide. It gives you a step-by-step under what every one of the tabs mean, how to access the portal. Of course, you can go through your tier page on the SCFD website. There will always be access through the SCFD website. And just a little more information on what every single tab of the Fluxx portal, how to use it. So, returning to the portal, when you apply for funding, this is always going to be located on what we call the welcome page, right here under information. This is the initial landing page when you've logged into Fluxx, and this is where you actually apply for funding from. We always encourage you to read the directions and guidelines for your tier, and there'll be more information on that in the Tier 3 grant application tutorial. So we'll start with Tier 3 because it begins at the top here. To apply for a Tier 3 grant, you obviously have to be eligible, which we approve, and you have to submit your application by 4 p.m. on the following deadlines, right here. We'll always keep this information here for you as a quick reference. You can also access that information on the grant schedule calendar of the SCFD website. To apply for funding, you simply click this link. Please see the grant application tutorial for more information on how to apply for funding in 2021. So we're going to go down each of the tabs now. Again, this information tab is this welcome page. The welcome page is the landing page, or you could call it the home page for the Fluxx portal. From here, you will apply for funding, depending on your tier. Next, we go to the Organizations tab. The organization is the nonprofit that you are associated with, you as a user. Here, you can update information on your organization, including your address, your primary contact information, your mission statement, and that's really important because your mission statement is located here under your organization profile. When you begin a grant application, we actually pull the mission statement from here into the application automatically. So if you need to update your mission statement, you'll do so here. Your home county, your statutory discipline and focus are also located here. If you need to edit at any time in Fluxx, the edit button is always located up here in the top right-hand corner of your screen. The edit button, you would use this to make any changes to your grant application, draft requests, and your final grant report. If you're Tier 3, it's all located here. This is our training organization. We signed Deborah up for it. Let's say I wanted to make a change. I'm going to click the edit button. Let's say here I wanted to move, we no longer were for cultural history. I would move it out. All of the statutory disciplines actually start on this right-hand side. And then in order to add it to your profile, you would click on one and then click the little arrow to take it over. SCFD obviously represents all of these statutory disciplines. The focus areas are the same. Just for this example, we've kept art over here, and we've moved over cultural history, dance, literary arts, music, and natural history. If I was to make a mission statement change, I would be making it here. My organization address, it is critical for us that you keep this primary address and a secondary or mailing address up to date at all times. This is a part of your eligibility for SCFD, so we know that you actually are inside of the district. And moving forward, this address is the address we'll be sending your checks to. Under your profile, just going to click that tab. Under your profile, you'll also see something called an organization audit. Currently, this section is only for organizations applying for eligibility. You may recall when your organization applied for eligibility, you already submitted all of this documentation and we already have it on file. In the event that we undertake an eligibility review, then you'll be requested to fill this in. For now, you can just leave it as it is. So I'm going to save and continue here. Please always click either the save and continue or the save and close button constantly when in Fluxx. Okay, the next tab is the People tab. From this section, you can update your contact information. So this is the information for you specifically. And this has to remain updated because this is how SCFD will be contacting you. Just a little note, whenever you log in, you'll see this little orange 1 appear, which means 1 update available. When it comes to your contact information, what that really is saying is you have logged in. That's all it is, nothing too crazy. If I wanted to make an edit to my personal contact information, or in this case Deborah's, I would click the edit button. You can just update your prefix, first and last name, your title, your email, and your work phone number. In this case, I don't need to make any changes, so I'll just press cancel. Okay, so now we get into the requests section. Grant applications, that is your application for funding or your request for funding, are all located here. After you have started a grant application from the welcome page, it will actually appear under requests. So let's return to the requests tab. Draft applications will appear under draft. So while you're working on an application, your drafts will appear here. If you notice that you've started multiple draft applications and you would like to delete them, please contact an SCFD staff member and we can delete out the applications that you no longer want to include. If you've submitted an application or submitted a request, which will appear here, and then SCFD has decided that we need more information, we'll return it to you. And then it will be located here under Requests to Edit. From Requests to Edit, you can then make changes and resubmit to SCFD. Once you've clicked the Submit to SCFD button, your request will appear here under Submitted Requests. And as you see on this workflow here, draft with applicant, it will be under review. So that's pending approval. The grant section, once a grant is approved, it will move to this section. Active grants are those that still have funds to be distributed and are grants where the funds have been distributed and are actively being used. And closed grants are those that have received full payment and the grant cycle has been completed. The amendment section is for Tier 3 project requests only, and again for 2021, we will not be undertaking grant amendments. We'll fill you in on that in 2022, so you don't need to worry about that for the 2021 year for Fluxx. Reports are also for Tier 3 only, and this is where final grant reports will be located. The report due will pop up here. You'll be able to click on it, and then a report will appear here in this section. We call this a card. In this section of the card, you'll click on it, and then you'll undertake the edit. If there's further information to edit, it will be located here. That is if SCFD returns the report to you. And then all of your submitted reports will be located in this section. Again, this is just for Tier 3 only. Tier 1 and Tier 2, will only work through the request section. Payments. Scheduled payments will be located here, and scheduled payments will be for all of your active grants. They'll appear here until they're paid. Once a payment or a check has been sent and a payment has been made, the record of it will appear here. Let's go back to the home page. So this is your new Fluxx grant portal for SCFD. As ever, please contact an SCFD staff member if you have any additional questions, especially with logging in. To log out of the portal, you click this little gear symbol down in the bottom left corner here. You can change your password from here or log out. Thanks for spending time with me today. I would encourage Tier 3 applicants to go ahead and check out the Tier 3 grant application tutorial, which is also located on the Tier 3 webpage under Grant Making. We'll do it again. So this is scfd.org, the eyebrow navigation, because it's located at the top. Go to Grant Making, already funded, Tier 3. Thank you so much.